Now, Telstra's half-year profit has tumbled by 27% as the telco feels the full force of the NBN taking away its wholesale fixed-line customers. Telstra isn't happy about it and wants NBN to change its pricing. For more, the business host Elysse Morgan joins me now in the studio. Elysse, what do shareholders make of today's result?
Look, they're not impressed. They were warned by Telstra that this is where the profit would come out around. It's about $1.2 billion, as you say, down 27%. The other thing they won't be happy about, even though they were warned, and they probably should have known, given the conditions that Telstra is facing into with NBN and increasing competition in the mobile market, their dividend has been well and truly cut. It's now at a peak of, and the good old days where they were receiving about 15.5 cents per share. It's a tough result. Nbn, the CEO today, said he's very pleased with the outlook for Telstra. They are making inroads. They have the 5G network coming. They are building customers, but when you drill down into the numbers, their revenue per user and revenues overall on mobile broadband, on fixed line are all falling. So the company is certainly under pressure, and it's particularly under pressure as well over NBN and the prices on that. And so the CEO is looking for some concessions there? Nbn is pointing out today that he makes nothing on the NBN, that the wholesale price is way too high. It's at $50 and he's selling it for $70. He says the $20 difference is all tied up in output and pushing it essentially down the line, marketing costs, etc., all associated. So he's making zero margin on that. He says it's a more reasonable result to see a margin in the teens, and that would be better off for consumers and for the industry. The key question I had for him is, why should you be making a margin on something, and why should you be complaining about this when the government's already compensated you for the loss of your copper network that you handed over for the NBN? That compensation's in the billions, and also taxpayers have built this network. So it's not an argument that he's going to back down from.
There is zero margin in there for operators, and in my experience, it's a bad outcome for the industry. It's a bad outcome for the country. It's a bad outcome for customers, where an industry doesn't make any money at all.
Why is it such a bad thing that you don't have huge margins on the NBN when you've been paid quite handsomely by the government for the hole that it's left in your business, and it's taxpayers that have paid to build it? I'm
not saying huge margins, at least I'm saying a margin. I'm saying currently we resell NBN at zero margin, zero. So the point is, and that's not viable in the longer term. And yes, Telstra has received some compensatory payments from the government, and that's a function of a deal that was done many years ago. So I'm not suggesting anything about re-prosecuting that, but to put that in perspective, and you're very astute financially, so you'd appreciate the numbers. It's at about a multiple of just under 3 times EBITDA, which is not really recompensing for the loss of earnings.
Very glad he pointed out that I'm financially astute, Kirsten. That interview on The Business tonight, we also talk about his outlook for Telstra, which, as I said, he says is looking good.
Look forward to more of your analysis then. Thanks, Elysse.